Hi guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Yes, hi guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Chinyere Okafo, or you can call me Chichi. This video today I'm recording in my room. I'm actually sitting on the floor, so different angle. I don't know if this is better or this is better. Doesn't really matter. Um, hmm. Yeah. Sorry, you guys. Give me a second. Yeah, so today, let me just tell you, um, I was contemplating if I really wanted to record because um, I typically record like in the afternoons or early evenings when I was 10 p.m. Typically on a regular day, by 10 p.m. I'm typically already done recording. But today I wasn't really feeling it. I didn't even know I was still be. I did not know I was still going to end up recording. I was just like, you know what, let me just do it. And yeah, I'm doing it now. Yeah, so that's great. Good for me. Today's date is Monday, March. It's Monday, March 24th, 2025. I just had a shower. That's really it. I just did that like maybe like an hour ago. So today's video, I have a couple of things that I wrote down on my Chineken. Excuse me. I have a couple of things that I wrote down on my notes app. Let's see how much of that I can cover in this video. I might make multiple videos, although I'm already tired and I want to sleep and I have things to do after this video, but let's see if I can quickly touch on anything that I wrote down on my notes app. So today I'm recording from my computer, so the quality might be not as good or not as clear as my phone. So yeah, just putting that out there. So. Okay, let me talk a bit about. Okay, I'm gonna try to talk about two different topics. Not necessarily two different topics, but two different aspects. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is my subconscious. Yeah, the first thing I'm going to talk about is my subconscious. And, I feel like I know that there are probably thousands of videos on YouTube or on the internet in general about, the subconscious mind, the mind, blah, blah, blah. This is not really going to be an educative video. This is just me sharing my experience or my observation of my subconscious. That is just all this is. I'm not telling you what to do. This is not an instruction manual. I'm just sharing my experience. Finish. Yeah, so I'm going to speak a little on my subconscious. One thing I've realized or I have noticed about my subconscious is that my subconscious is typically aware of the things that I will do, I'm about to do before I actually do them. And another thing I would say is that my subconscious is more conscious than my conscious mind. That's something that I've realized about myself. There are a couple things that I wrote down in my journal. I don't want to pick up my journal now because I'm going to have to start flipping and trying to find where I wrote it down. So I'm just going to try to summarize the points I'm trying to make in this video. So something I noticed about my subconscious is very aware of me. Even though I'm not, even though like my conscious mind, like me as I am now talking to you, I'm not as aware of my subconscious as my subconscious is aware of me. Yes. Uh, and I've noticed this in different ways, in the sense that, for example, let me just give an example of something that's happened to me. I noticed that like it could be random events or really important events that happen to me, but I noticed that before they eventually happen, I have dreams of them eventually happening, and then they eventually happen. That's one. But the point I'm trying to make is that, um, what point am I trying to make? Okay, let me give a better description. So, like, for example, a couple of weeks ago, I had gone out on a date with somebody. Or, yes, I had gone out on a date with somebody. Um, and prior to the dates, I had had, like, few days before I actually went out on that date, um, I had a couple or a series of dreams. And the funny thing is that the dreams, I didn't really remember like every detail of the dream super clearly, but I, remember some fragments and bits and pieces of the dreams that I had. And the dreams that I had were concerning the dates that eventually happened. And there were so many details in the dream that I remember that, you know, eventually ended up happening on the dates, right? So, for example, um, I had seen this girl in my dream. She was really dark skinned. She had a nose piercing. She was super dark skinned, really pretty. She had a wig on, and then I'm trying to describe the style she had on. You know how like people just bring like a strand of hair and then pack the rest of the back. So that was kind of what she had, like the hairstyle she had on. And then I woke up from my dream. I was just like, oh, that's so weird. Like, I don't even know who this girl is. Like, why am I dreaming about a random girl that I don't know who she is? And like, she had this specific nose piercing. It's not like the regular nose piercings that people have, just like a stud, like a regular stud. No, it was like a big ass nose piercing. I think it was like a flower or something. So obviously, she really stood out to me in my dream. I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't pay too much attention to it. So I was like, who cares? Like, I don't know this girl, so whatever. Anyways, yeah. So that was one detail. And then I had another, like, I remembered another detail of the dream, that the chairs of the restaurant that we were going to, mind you, I've never been to this restaurant before, but the restaurant we're going to go to, the chairs in it were red. And I was like, okay, I didn't, mind you, I'm not paying too much attention to these things. I'm just like, whatever, like, And the days that I did have the dream, I didn't know that they were going to be about the day specifically. I thought it was just like a random, regular dream. So that was one specific detail. And then in the dream as well, I remember this specific billboard or this specific like adverts, and like the advert in my dream, I saw like a man. He was wearing like a pink suit, like a pink jacket, and like a pink skirt, but it was an advert, right? So I remembered seeing that in my dream, and I was like, this is really random. Like, what is this? Like, who cares? And then that, I ignored that. And then when I did go on the date, mind you, I did not know that these details that I remembered, I didn't know that they were about the date I was going on. I did eventually go on the dates, and I had forgotten about the dream. And then I noticed that like things that are, and I noticed that things that are happening one after the other. The first one happened. I didn't really pick up on the fact that I had like dreamt about the situation. I was like, I didn't really. I was slow. The first thing that I saw was like the chairs in the restaurants were red, and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't really think too much about it, and then eventually I remember seeing like the man I had seen in my dream on the like billboard, and literally right across my table, I was looking out the window. There was like the same advert of the man that I saw in my dream. I was like, okay, that's the second one. So the person I went on a date with, we were, I took pictures of him, he took pictures of me. So, and then eventually, I think I was trying to see the pictures I took of him on his phone. And then I saw the picture of this girl. I was like, oh my gosh, like I've seen this girl before. Like, I was like, yeah, I definitely dreamt it. But I didn't tell him. It was just like, like a euphoric experience. I was like, oh shit, like this is what this was about. Like the same girl, she's wearing the same outfit, the same hairstyle, the same nose ring. She was like her skin color, she was dark skin. I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, okay, this is so strange. Like the chair, the advert, um the the girl on like, his phone. And so I was like, oh my gosh, that's like so strange. Like I knew that this like it was gonna turn out the way it did. Mind you, like this is not my first experience of something like that happening. It happens to me literally all the time. But something that I want to say is that even if I'm aware, like okay, let me try to explain, you know, in better words. One thing I'm trying to say is that even if I'm aware that these things are going to happen, I can't prevent them from not happening, if that makes any sense. You know how, like, if somebody tells you, okay, Chichi, like when you go out tomorrow, you're going to break your leg, for example. Obviously, when I go out tomorrow, I'm going to be really careful. I'm going to be watching my steps so I don't break my leg, right? So my point is that no matter how careful I am of these dreams, like they eventually happen. And sometimes I do have these dreams and I completely forget about them. Like I don't even remember them when I wake up. And when the thing is happening, it's just like a deja vu feeling. Like I'm just like, oh, I've seen this before, but I did not remember. It happens to me literally all the time. Let me give you like a different story. A different story is my current apartment that I live in. Before I moved in, a couple days before, I had a dream of, the hallway. Like I saw myself standing in the hallway, and the hallway of like the house I live in is very specific. There are three doors in the hallway of like three different rooms, and for my roommates and stuff like that. So there were three different doors. It's like really specific, and I was like, I didn't think too much about it because whatever. I don't know. It was like a random dream. And then, mind you, I had this dream before I even came to see this house for a viewing. At the time I had this dream, I was just still speaking to the landlord of the house, trying to, finalize the whole situation and stuff like that. So I hadn't even seen the space when I had the dream. I was just still texting the landlord. And then I had moved into the house. I went, sorry, I went to see the house for the viewing, yeah. And then after I had moved in, I was standing in the hallway, and it's just like, how when you just have like flashbacks, like you just remember the dream or the vision you had, and then, you're like, oh, damn, like this is it. So yeah, similar thing happened. Similar things that, like, it happens to me a lot of the time. It happened to me during my friend's birthday. I think literally a couple of days before her birthday, I had several dreams of, like, events that would happen in her birthday. To be honest, I forgot about that dream, and I did go for her birthday, and I met somebody at her birthday party that I had dreamt about, and then I looked at him. It was just like, whilst it might sound really strange, maybe it is strange. So whilst I looked at him, I could almost see the dream. Like, I can't explain it. So I looked at him, like we made eye contact for like a brief, like couple seconds. And then whilst we were looking at each other, I could almost see the dream replayed again in his eyes, if that makes any sense. Anyways, so the bottom line of this video is that I just realized that, like, I think my subconscious is more aware of me than I realize that it's aware of me. And one thing I noticed is that even if, like, I do see certain things that are going to happen eventually, I realize that, like, whether I'm aware of it happening or not, like, it's still going to happen. I'm not going to stop it from happening. And whether I consciously make the decision to stop it from happening, is still going to happen. Like, whether I try to stop it, is going to happen. Whether I embrace it, is still going to happen. So whatever decision I end up making is going to be what will lead or cause that specific thing I dreamt about to happen. Um, yeah, so that's one. And what else did I want to share on this video? Probably should have written it down. Yeah, I had like something I wanted to say, but I've forgotten the thing I wanted to say. Anyways, yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to share for this video. I just thought it was something that, I don't know, that I've noticed about my mind and my spirit. And yeah, I just thought to share. I thought it was like a really cool experience, a really cool story. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. And like another thing I tried out, like you know how like people say like they have like lucid dreams of how like when they dream they are aware that they're dreaming. I don't really think that has happened to me before. Maybe like one time, but yeah, I think I would love to be conscious of my dream whilst it is happening. I think that would be a very good like skill to master. I don't know if that's possible, but some people can't do it. So I can't do it right now, but some people can do it. So I think that's like a very cool skill or thing to be able to master and be aware that you're dreaming while you're dreaming to the extent that you can control some specific actions in your dreams and things like that. So I think that's really cool. I think that's really cool. And there was something that happened. I try to be conscious of my dreams while I sleep. Even though, like, okay, oh my gosh, it's such a long story. But the point is that there was this time I was about to go to sleep, and I was like, okay, I was trying to, prepare my mind to, just be aware of the fact that I'm going to bed and I'm going to dream, and I want to be aware of my dream whilst it's happening, right? So, well, that's like where my head was at before I fell asleep that day. And I did fall asleep that day. And I think my mind was aware of what I was trying to do, like the fact that I was trying to have control of my dream while I was sleeping, right? So I think my mind was aware of what I was trying to do. So, and I noticed that like my mind would narrate the dream whilst it was happening. I don't know if that was like a cue for me to be like, oh, I don't know if it was doing that because it wanted me to realize that I was dreaming, but and that never happens. Like my mind was narrating the dream to me whilst I was sleeping. For example, I'm just giving a random example. Let's say like I took a glass of water in my dream. It will tell me, okay, now you're taking a glass of water and you're about to drink it. That's literally what it was doing, was narrating the dream to me. And I was like, that's strange. That I'd never had my mind narrate a dream to me before. So I was like, that's strange. Is it doing it because it knows that I'm trying to be aware of the fact that I'm dreaming? So it's trying to, I don't know what that was, but that's what I was thinking in my brain. So yeah, I just thought to share like this cool experience with you guys. I'm very sure that I had more to say, but I wrote it out in my journal, and I don't want to start flipping pages, and I feel like it's just going to take too much time. And I think I'm almost done with this video. I have 1 minute and 15 seconds to be over. It's tradition on this channel for my videos to always be 20 minutes. So there will always be 20 minutes. It might be like not necessarily 20 minutes on the dot, but maybe 20 minutes and a couple seconds, but it will always be 20 minutes. So yeah, I have 50 something seconds now. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. If you do watch it, if you made it to the end, thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, I'm really happy. I'm happy that I started recording. I'm happy that I'm sharing my experiences with you guys. I'm just happy. I'm really just happy I started my YouTube channel. So that's really great. Yeah, thank you guys that do watch, that, like my content, like my videos, that, like, the share, comment, whatever. Thank you. That's amazing. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so we officially come to the end of the video. And that's all I have to say. That's all I have to share for now. And I have 10 seconds till the video is over. So, yeah, hopefully I record more But in the meantime, bye guys.